Prayer. How is prayer true in your life? You know, in my life, I've seen a couple of times when prayer was answered. Out of all the thousands and thousands of times I prayed, the majority of those prayers were selfish. I can remember when I was in my early teens, probably 13 or 14, we were at a Sunday homecoming where everybody brought a plate and had a big picnic table out beside the church. We had singing, and then we all went out and ate. And I was kind of in a central area there with some of my friends, and my dad was way up here on the right talking to some men, and my mother was 40 foot away from him at the table talking to some women. And I heard my dad holler my mother's name and start running toward her, and when I turned to see, she was just kind of going back, beginning to fall, and my dad made it to her and caught her before she fell. And it was a bad situation. My mother had a light stroke, and they took her into the church auditorium, and an ambulance was called, and she was taken to the hospital. And I remember I was taken to the house, and I was terribly upset, and I walked around to the side of the house crying, and I remember praying to God that if He would just make my mother all right, I would do anything He wanted me to do. My mother got all right. It's just like nothing had ever happened to her within a few days. At that point, I felt like I was truly praying to God. I was at that point where nothing other than God could step in and do something about this situation. I always see that as a situation where God was answering my prayer. Continued.